Hello, I'm Sean Mayer.
And I'm Isabel Bonebreak. Welcome to Marquette Now. Coming up, new additions to the university.
More security measures across campus.
Research with a personal twist.
And later, falling short on the court.
All that and more starting right now.
From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio, this is Marquette Now.
The Marquette women's basketball team is advancing in the Women's National Invitational Tournament.
The squad hosted the Purdue Boilermakers at home in the Al McGuire Center Monday, advancing to the Sweet 16. The Golden Eagles are hosting the University of Toledo tomorrow at the Al at 7 p.m. We will have more in our sports block. Marquette University student government elections are next week. This Sunday, the candidates are hosting debates at 7 p.m. here in Studio 7 at Johnston Hall. Sarah Richardson has more on the candidates' campaigns and goals.
Marquette University's student government elections are being held next Tuesday. All candidates are current members of MUSG. Candidates Cameron Heiser with running mate Michaela Haro are up against Bridgman Flowers and running mate Samari Price. Presidential candidate Cameron Heiser was unavailable for an interview. Running mate Haro defines their campaign focus.
We really want to collaborate with the Counseling Center and Wellness Center to kind of get their programs are fantastic, but we feel like they could be more engaging.
Flowers and Price are the first all-black ticket on the MUSG presidential ballot in Marquette history. Their campaign focuses on student engagement.
And I want to be an example for so many students who come after me, because a lot of people are not going to have the active protests that we had. Not people are going to have the mentors that we were able to get. And I want to be that mentor for so many countless students.
Both candidates, however, have an emphasis on strengthening marginalized voices.
We need to help our marginalized groups any way that we can. And so getting those orgs the funding that they need is so key.
I hear students say, and they're like freshmen, I can't wait to be done. Like, I can't wait to be done and graduate. And it sucks to hear that because they have 4 more years left. And I want to change that dynamic to where students don't have to feel like they have to rush to kind of speed along their process here as a student. Like, I want them to enjoy those 4 years or those 2 years, 3 years, however many years they're here, so that they don't have to feel like, they spend all this money to be here and then they don't even enjoy the experience. So we want to amplify that experience where students feel like they belong on this campus. And that's pretty much what our platform is, amplifying student voices, not speaking for them, but speaking with them. It also giving them the mic to talk about their experience.
The pairs have Instagram pages and websites displaying their campaign for students to become informed on their platforms for the upcoming election. I'm Sarah Richardson, Marquette Wire News.
President Lovell's address reveals several architectural plans for campus. Marquette Now's Timothy Leteau has the update.
Changes are coming to Marquette's campus. Big changes. President Lovell announces a renovated Wellness and Recreation Center, new Innovation Lab in the Engineering Hall, and a move to Straz Hall for the nursing students.
Making the students feel like they're more of a priority is a big factor, and I think that's a good step towards that direction.
The direction is a more centralized one. The reimagined Health and Wellness Center, the site of the Health Air Rec Center, is going to have basketball and tennis courts on either half, and the middle corridor will be a 3-story complex of offices and other spaces to house all health and wellness services. It's expected to be completed by the end of 2024.
Everything's really spread out across campus, and I've had to go to the clinic before, and I couldn't find it. It took me forever to find it. So if it's all in one spot, I feel like that would be very, very helpful.
I'm a PT student, so for me, I think that's good news for the students and the health of the students and how they can stay active while being on campus.
Physical activity isn't the only consideration for the Health and Wellness Center.
Starting school in a pandemic and just being students in a pandemic, I think we all really struggled with mental health. And so making that in one central location along with physical health, I think will bring students more aware of the services that we have to offer.
We have to provide this to our students for them to be successful. And so when we think about how important this is to our future, and it's not just our current students, but attracting future students to our campus is something that we know we have to do. And that's why we've made it such a high priority.
Also towards the top of the priority list is outfitting Straz Hall with medical equipment, as nursing students will make the move from Clark Hall to Straz by the end of 2024. And a major development for engineering students, an Innovation Leadership Center, as a result of a $7 million gift from the Foch family.
It just helps us stay on the forefront of just our education and, our future.
A future transformed. I'm Timothy Leteau, Marquette Wire News.
The President's Task Force on Community Safety announces that a secure access pilot will begin today at Humphrey Hall. The pilot will require residents to scan their Marquette IDs to access the building during all hours of the day.
Our hope had always been by the fall to start this, but because we were able to get the supplies and the parts that we needed, we thought it would be helpful to run a pilot before we went all out.
Checkmark adds an inclusive feature by creating pronoun identification for its website. Students can now identify their preferred pronouns on Checkmark's Details tab. Students have an array of pronoun options to identify with. If a student chooses to identify their preferred pronouns, they may be shared with other campus systems to let users know how a student wants to be addressed.
Marquette is beginning its search to find the new Keys Dean of Business Administration. Made up of staff, faculty, and a current business student, the search committee aims to find the candidate that best suits Marquette.
I think what's nice about the committee is that there's going to be a wide range of perspectives. So from a faculty perspective, what we did internally was we had a nomination process.
The position has been open since the death of former Dean Joe Daniels, who died in February 2020. Acting Dean Ten Hanley will serve through the upcoming school year.
The important executives to take many months. And so I think most of the first part of the process is getting feedback on what kind of leadership style they're looking for, what kind of characteristics they're looking for in a leader.
The committee will have their first meeting on Thursday, in which they will begin the search and get their first pool of applicants.
So this is all trying to make sure that we have a holistic approach that we're following to identifying the best person for this position.
Longtime donor and university friend Michael Cudahy passes away. Cudahy is known for his generosity and kindness toward the university, donating tens of millions of dollars to help fund programming and scholarships. He was 97. The 5th annual Give Marquette Day took place Tuesday, March 8th.
The goal of the program is to raise money for different areas and programs across the university.
Raising over $4 million from over 5,000 donors across all 50 states and over 10 countries, the program sees its most successful year.
I bet it tends to feel
beat at the annex.
And later, a sweet treat for everyone. We'll be right back.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Welcome back to Marquette Now. I'm Isabel Bonebreak.
And I'm Sean Mayer.
Marquette Radio hosts Battle of the Bands, a competition where 5 bands have 15 minutes to perform.
But it's in time for the audience and the band members.
But it was lots of fun. We gave it our all in 15 minutes, so that's always fun.
Yeah, it was a great show. The Lights Cool, it's a cool venue. We haven't played this venue before. But yeah, it was a great 15 minutes, so hopefully the judges agree.
Lundy doesn't get the W as the judges favor Marble Teeth, an indie rock band from Decatur, Illinois.
I bet it tends to feel better on somebody else's dime. 'Cause I'm cheap and I got my baby asleep in the passenger seat next to me. You know I wouldn't mind these miles.
Sometimes life experiences can turn into promising scientific breakthroughs. Reporter Kristen Parisi will tell us why.
Each day, hundreds of students walk into the Weir Chemistry Building on Marquette's campus.
For the grad research symposium.
But only some make it to the 5th floor, where all the magic seems to happen.
There we go.
Inside Ryder Lab, you will find sophomore Jocelyn Helmbrecht, a first-generation college student working to make a scientific breakthrough. Helmbrecht works tirelessly making and studying the protein LSD1, which causes tumors in those affected by Ewing sarcoma, a rare form of childhood bone cancer. The same cancer that ended up killing her sister Jessie.
She loved selfies and taking pictures. This was her newly decorated room.
Diagnosed when she was just 3 years old, Jessie lived most of her life with cancer, but although sick, she was not going to let that tear her down.
My mom just wanted us to be aware. And she ended up passing away on July 27th of 2016, 6 days after her 16th birthday.
Yeah, my daughter was a fighter. She, all my girls are fighters. I was blessed.
Each year, around 200 kids are diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. But Jocelyn hopes that her work could potentially help those affected by this disease and save so many lives, just like Jessie.
Because not a lot is done unless people are aware of the problem. And I hope that what we're doing in lab here will turn out to be something.
Although she is no longer here, Jessie's energetic spirit will live on forever.
She is doing outstanding work, and her sister is just, I'm sure, so proud. For sure.
I'm Kristen Parisi, Marquette Wire News.
A Marquette nursing student is serving others outside of the hospital. She's making treats that everyone can enjoy. Ryan McMullen cooks up this story.
While many students look in the bakery aisle for desserts, Marquette senior Kat Hahn took her talent of baking to deliver for others.
It was a big stress relieving thing for me to just like bake, especially with the new dairy allergy that I've discovered. So I was kind of doing a lot of like trial and errors with like recipes and stuff, and my friends and family and people who are close to me told me that I should consider selling them.
One of the other people who brought Kat to Milk Not Milk was her roommate, Kelly McGee.
Kat and I both have dairy allergies, and it was really hard for us to find dairy-free baked goods. Prior to discovering our dairy allergies, we loved getting different cookies from like other businesses, which I won't name, but once we couldn't eat from those places anymore, we didn't want to give up on eating good food.
Holiday and exam weeks are stressful and busy, and that's when Milk Not Milk gets its busiest.
My highest week was Valentine's Day. I did like a promotional deal for Valentine's Day, and I had like 25 orders, I think, for February 14th. I think what's so special about Kat is that a lot of these businesses, they're just looking to make money. But the reason this business started is because of a personal affliction that she's been having to deal with.
Despite Hahn graduating in May, that doesn't mean she's going to fully move on from Milk Not Milk yet.
I'm passionate about nursing, but maybe I'll continue this on as kind of like my side hobby.
I'm Ryan McMullen, Marquette Wire News.
One Marquette University bowling team decides to dress for success. Julia Bouzahab takes us to the alleys.
One wouldn't typically think to see a group of doctors bowling at the Marquette University Union Sports Annex on a Tuesday night.
Turkey? Yep, it might happen. It might happen. That's terrible.
But for one certain team on Marquette's bowling league, they dress in different themes each week.
Formal night was pretty good. After that, we did swimming and pajamas, but we have a couple good ones in the pipeline. Prom night, we're gonna bring some dates. That's gonna be great. And that's all I'll say for now.
After their best bowler on the team got injured, they decided to dedicate this week's theme to their friend's recovery.
Obviously, his injury was pretty costly, so we were just dressing up to support our friend. He's got like a little hospital bracelet from his visit today, and hopefully his ankle will recover soon.
Despite not being the best bowlers, the team says they decided to join the league to find something fun to do and spend more time together.
The camaraderie, yeah, it's really the best part of it. I mean, like, none of us are good bowlers. Like, we're not competitive with it, really. Yeah, it's just like good to meet new people and like spend time with my roommates. So,
striking out, this is Julia Bouzahab for Marquette Wire News.
The COVID-19 pandemic forced the MU Gospel Choir to shut down in the spring of 2020. Under the leadership of Debbie Duff, the sounds of the MU Gospel Choir have started to return to the Alumni Memorial Union this semester.
As Marquette Now's Rachel Johnner reports, the MU Gospel Choir is making its comeback.
The Marquette University Gospel Choir spreads the everlasting love of the Lord through music and fellowship. Inside the AMU, tucked away on the second floor, Gospel Choir members meet every Monday in the Chapel of the Holy Family for rehearsals. But this wasn't always the case. The COVID-19 pandemic shut down the MU Gospel Choir last year. The sound of singing and laughter disappeared with it. This semester, under new direction, the Gospel Choir has made their comeback. Debbie Duff was previously the director for Mount Mary University's Gospel Choir.
Okay, let's do it again.
But she decided to follow the music to MU, where she became the director of MU's Gospel Choir. In less than 1 year, her leadership has already had an impact. Benjamin Jackson has been the president of the Gospel Choir Club for 4 years. He says Duff has worked to grow the Gospel Choir, both in its size and in its reputation.
As she has helped challenge me to get more students to enroll into our Gospel Choir course. She has helped basically solidify Marquette University Gospel Choir's presence within the Marquette community.
Is that altos?
Chanel Williams has been a member of the Gospel Choir Club for 1 semester. She says Duff's impact has not only been on the choir's reputation, but also on the choir's members.
Just leave all that behind us right now.
She wants us to have a good time, and she challenges us to reach the higher notes that we can hit.
Currently, the Gospel Choir Club has 19 members. Jackson says more students should join because of the opportunity to be a member of a close-knit community.
If you like to sing, I recommend that you join the choir. If you don't like to sing, I recommend you join the choir.
In the Chapel of the Holy Family, I'm Rachel Johnner, Marquette Wire News.
Joining us now is Nancy Flaherty with the look at our weather. Sean, did you remember to bring your umbrella to class today?
No, I didn't. Did you, Nancy?
I wish I did. I'm gonna be honest, I had hoped that the weather would kind of turn and warm up a bit, but it seems it didn't. But let's take a look at what the weather is right now. As we can see, right now it is 43 degrees, humidity is at 82%, precipitation at 60%, and winds to the north coming at 7 miles per hour. As we check into the state overnight lows, we can see throughout the state over in Superior, it's going to be at 28 degrees, Minocqua also at 28, Wausau's at 32, and Milwaukee, our home place, is at 36 degrees. If we look into the state tomorrow highs, it's going to get as high as 39 degrees in Superior, 40 degrees in Minocqua, 41 down there in Green Bay, and of course Milwaukee, 39 degrees. Tonight, rain showers are going to become steady light rain overnight. So if you were hoping it was going to be raining men, I'm sorry, but snow may mix in. The low tonight is going to be anything too close to 36 degrees. Humidity is going to be at 86%, precipitation at 65%, and winds from the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we're going to have a mixture of rain and snow showers, so make sure you have your coats or umbrellas, Marquette. It's going to reach up to a high of 39 degrees potentially. Humidity is going to be at 81%, precipitation at 70%, and winds from the northwest coming at 5 to 10 miles per hour. If we check into our extended 5-day weather forecast, we're going to clearly see that on Friday, it's going to reach temperatures as high as 47 degrees, 42 on Saturday, 37 on Sunday, and then heading into that 38, 39 degree range on Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures are going to reach as low as 30 degrees on Friday, with the lowest across the week being on Saturday at 25 degrees, partly cloudy throughout the week. That's it for weather. Stay with us though, because TJ Dysart will be back with sports right after this.
Have you ever seen somebody treated unfairly because of the color of their skin?
Do you guys know what it means to have white privilege?
What is racism and what do you think about it?
Talk to young children about what racism is, giving them the language to understand it. They can be disruptors. They can shape and shift culture.
We may not always know the answer, but we'll try and help you learn.
You don't have to have all the answers, but that doesn't mean we can't start.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
What are you looking for?
Welcome back. I'm TJ Dysart with your Marquette Now Sports Report. The Marquette women's team takes the dub against Purdue 77-62 in the second round of the Women's National Invitational Tournament. How does senior Carissa McLaughlin lead the squad in the battle against her alma mater? Executive sports producer Tyler Peters takes us to the action.
With the season on the line, look to no other than those who've been there and done that. The Marquette women's basketball team welcomes in the Purdue Boilermakers for a second round matchup in the Women's National Invitational Tournament. Veteran leadership jumpstarts the Golden Eagles offense as Lauren Van Clunen puts up 15 points in the first quarter. But Purdue keeps things tight in the second frame as Marquette heads into halftime up only 5. Coming out of the break, the Boilermakers hit back-to-back shots, forcing the Golden Eagles to take a timeout. Marquette immediately responds, going on a 10-2 run, and outscored Purdue 21-14 in the final frame, clinching a 77-62 victory.
It's funny, at halftime we kind of came out doing the exact opposite of, we talked about the energy and Purdue's toughness and, those first couple minutes, come out aggressive and, flying around on defense, and we did the opposite. So I just wanted to call a quick one just to reiterate the message from halftime, and I was just really proud of the way they locked back in.
Van Clunen has a historic night, finishing the match with a career-high 27 points on 10 for 17 shooting.
I think my teammates did a great job finding me too, and just getting me the ball. So I know I'm really, really confident with that. And then, I knew even if I missed it, there was rebounders down there, so I was letting it fly.
Can we just talk about Lauren Van Clunen? I mean, wow, she carried us from when we tipped that ball. I mean, just rebounding. Obviously, her scoring is phenomenal in many different ways. Her jumper, her getting rebound putbacks. I mean, she's a phenomenal player to play with. I think she's the storyline for today.
Jordan King, Carissa McLaughlin, and Antoinette Walker all notched double-digit scoring figures as well. The Golden Eagles will host the University of Toledo in the Sweet 16 of the WNIT Thursday night. Reporting from the Al McGuire Center, I'm Tyler Peters, Marquette Wire Sports.
The 9th-seed Marquette men's basketball team goes head-to-head against the 8th-seeded University of North Carolina in the round of 64 of the NCAA tournament. The Golden Eagles struggle all game long, losing 95-63. It's been over 7 years since the team won an NCAA tournament game. Head coach Shaka Smart and players share their thoughts following the season-ending defeat.
The biggest lesson from this is, you have to lead on the defensive end. And that's regardless of how things are going on offense, and we didn't do a good enough job of that today. Everyone outside of our locker room didn't really think we could do much at all this year. We were picked 9th in the Big East. We certainly weren't picked by anyone to go to the NCAA tournament. These guys and their teammates have done a phenomenal job building relationships with each other, and that's been the foundation of everything we've done. We're just getting started, with what we're trying to do at Marquette. we're going to use today as a major springboard moving forward.
I mean, Coach said we want to be one of the team that grows the most over the course of the year, and I feel like, you know, for the most part, we did that, and we're going to learn from this experience, and we're going to keep growing and move forward.
Just going to continue to lean on our core values, really, just relationships, get closer with each other, build relationships with the new guys that come in, and growth, just get better every single day, build connectedness on the court, just work on skill, all that, and then when the season comes around, then we'll be ready for a victory. So.
That's it for sports, but don't go anywhere. Marquette Now will be right back with our Down to the Wire segment.
No margin for error. Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to load their minds. Dare to explore. Dare to STEM. Learn more at She Can STEM.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Welcome back. I'm Sean Mayer.
And I'm Isabel Bonebreak. Marquette Wire Executive News Editor Megan Woolard joins us now for tonight's edition of Down to the Wire.
She's with Connor Baldwin to talk about the Iranian New Year. Megan?
Thanks, Sean. Connor, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me. It's great.
So for the Tribune this week, you wrote an article about the Iranian New Year. Do you want to tell us a bit more about what that is?
Sure. So the Iranian New Year, which was celebrated this Sunday on March 20th, otherwise known as Nowruz, is the celebration of kind of winter passing over and the cold exiting, and celebrations of the renewal of life and new beginnings and going back to kind of nature now that the spring has happened. So traditionally it falls on the spring equinox. So that was again this year on March 20th. So
yeah. So on the 20th, how did campus celebrate?
Sure. So this was held through the Commuter Student Association with the help of Puya Mirzai, and so that was attended at the AMU ballroom on the second floor. And so there were tables that were scattered across, and there were families of students and just families in general of adults, and there were younger generations there. And so you really got a mix, and there was kind of a collaboration of traditional dancing and traditional music, and there was food at the end, which was pretty nice as well. And there was also a presentation about kind of just the traditions that were going on and why it's celebrated.
Mm-hmm. So kind of on the topic of traditions, reading your article, you mentioned there's a traditional table at the celebration. What exactly does that signify?
Sure. So the traditional table, otherwise known as a half scene, is a display of a bunch of items that kind of relate to the earth and going back to nature. And so every single item that's displayed starts with the letter S in the Iranian language. So you have a display of colored eggs. You also have lentil sprouts that are there, and there was even a bowl with goldfish. And so again, that's just kind of going back and relating to the earth, and again, celebrating new beginnings.
Mm-hmm. So Iranian New Year, but it's not only celebrated in Iran, as I understand.
No, so it's actually celebrated across the Middle East and parts of Central Asia. So it has spanned all the way from Turkey to Kazakhstan, and everyone kind of has their own way of celebrating it. So out in Iran, they have a traditional meal of herbed rice and white fish, while in parts of Kazakhstan, they serve up a soup. And usually they just try to go outside and celebrate the day, just getting back to nature and enjoying the elements. And they just kind of draw it out, and they just enjoy the day. And I mean, people in Kazakhstan, it's not actually doesn't fall on exactly March the 20th, so they can find just any kind of day where it's just a nice day for going outside.
All right, Connor. Well, that is all the time that we do have for tonight. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
For sure. I'll send it back to Sean and Izzy in the studio.
That's our report for tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mayer.
And I'm Isabel Bonebreak. Remember to check MarquetteWire.org for all the latest campus news. Good night, Marquette.